Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host, Trey. I gotta say it, just the mere fact that you clicked onto this video and you're listening to the sound of my voice, you by far are the smartest people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you. Let's jump right into it. You know, there comes a time when you got your third eye, and you're just thinking about what could make today even more alarming as it pertains to world events. And man, I didn't see this coming, but I certainly am annoyed by this individual I want to talk about. And I have been for so long. And so he's now going to get added, as he has always been in my mind, to the clown series. And this individual, I predicted January 1st, 2025, that he would be replaced and would not be leading his country into the new year of 2026. This individual goes by the name of Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. If you have not seen the footage of Zelensky in the Oval Office talking to President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, I certainly suggest you pause this video, you go check that out, and you come right back here. But if you've already watched it, let's talk about it. Zelensky is an individual who, I don't even know how he got here. I don't know if he came on a Spirit Airlines or if he came on a private jet. But he's here in America doing a tour, and essentially he ends up at the Oval Office, as we know, and he gets into a contested debate with Trump and J.D. Vance. And the hillbilly and J.D. Vance could not let it fly. J.D. Vance called Zelensky out live on television because he believed that Zelensky was being disrespectful to the Trump administration. And I agree with him. I agree that Zelensky not only was disrespectful during that conversation, he's been disrespectful. This is an individual who said in that meeting in front of the public, he said, oh, America, we as Ukrainians, we've been fighting this war alone since the beginning. I mean, that's a spit in the face to Ukrainians who've died, Ukrainians who will die, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers there who've lost family members, the citizens who have to be experiencing PTSD from the war. I mean, can you imagine you're living in these beautiful cities and bombs are hitting apartment buildings, sirens are going off at one point daily, every other day. You're hiding under the bed. You're looking for bomb shelters. You're constantly thinking, as a young man, am I going to be sent to the front lines to die? And Zelensky, in his disrespect of not at that moment in the Oval Office acknowledging the monies that have been sent from the taxpayers to help fight that war and build new apartments, beautiful apartments, to stabilize the country in some way. The weaponry that's been sent, that's been paid for by the US citizens. And he had the audacity to sit in the Oval Office and speak arrogantly about what Ukraine has done. And Trump calls him out, just as JD Vance did. And it was a pretty heated exchange because this was an individual who, even as JD was talking, or even as Donald Trump was talking, there was this cutting off of each other. I'd never seen that from any leader and a president being in the same room, being recorded live in front of US citizens. I've never seen that before. I've never seen it. I'm certain you haven't either. Maybe I'd always assume like this is how the conversations go behind closed doors on the phone or in person. But to hear it, and especially from Zelensky, who was a clown. I mean, this is a guy who, well before he became the president of Ukraine, he was an entertainer, a comedian, and he found a way to get in a position of power. The people voted for him. And I can't imagine the people of Ukraine imagine that this individual would drive them into a massive war with Russia. And I can't imagine that they had concluded that the war would still be going on. And I can't imagine that they still wanted to go on. But Zelensky talks in such a way that he doesn't want peace. If he wants peace, he damn sure isn't talking publicly, and I haven't heard him talk publicly as if he wants peace. To me, he wants concessions from Russia that Russia is just not going to do under any circumstances. Is big bank take little bank? Is big fish little fish? And Zelensky, I started to say to myself, what is this guy's deal? Like, what was it that he's been aiming for this whole time? And the only thing that I can muster up is power and greed. At some point, someone from the West went over there and told him and painted a beautiful picture for him that things were going to work out well. And this is what it would look like for him. And he believed it hook, line. He believed it. He believed whatever shit sandwich that individual was selling to him. But here we are. Time has passed. Tens of thousands of Ukrainians have died in this war. Almost 300,000 plus Ukrainians have been injured from the war. Zelensky has the audacity to say they've been doing it alone. And I'm not sure if you know this, but there have been US citizens who have died in that war in Ukraine. US citizens who have voluntarily taken up arms to fight with Ukraine. And Zelensky, from my perspective, I'll just get right to it. The people of Ukraine need to replace him. They need a referendum. They need to do something. They need to come together and whatever their constitution is, I don't know. They haven't even had the option to have elections because of the war. But they need to figure out a way to replace him, get someone in position who can do what's in the best interest of the Ukrainian people, bring peace to the region, have an economic reset, and go from there. But this guy Zelensky is not it. He's a horrible leader. He's driven tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to the front lines against Russia. And I said to myself, well, if you go back, like, why didn't Zelensky cozy up to Russia? Like, why did he cozy up to the West? And it goes back to what I said. I believe someone from the West went over there. I have some thoughts. I won't say any names right now. But cozied up with him, made him comfortable, painted a beautiful picture to him, and he fell for it. And I think in his small brain, he's saying to himself, man, you know what I'll do now? I could just wait out Donald Trump. He's only going to be in office for 4 years. And I'll just wait till the next president comes, and then I'll just get what I want. I don't know what reality this guy's living in, but it's some multiverse where I think the end result is still the same, which he hasn't seen yet, which is his total demise. Because what else is there for him and his people if he doesn't stop? I don't know if the people of Ukraine are willing to do what it takes to remove him. I don't know. But I would hope after this fiasco and him flying back there and trying to come up with whatever bullshit story he can make up, propaganda he can make up to keep his people inspired by his actions. I hope they see right through his bullshit for the clown that he is. And for any Americans at this point who would support Zelensky, I mean, you've got to be just as much of a clown or a fool as he is to believe that the way he's behaving is the way you stop a war. I hadn't seen it done this way before. So unless you want us to get pulled into it and our men, young women go to that country as well and die in mass numbers because of World War III, come on. No, Zelensky, I think Zelensky, I think he sealed his fate today. I think he's going to go back. The people are not going to be pleased with him, hopefully, and they'll decide to replace him. And he's hoping that based on their constitution and the fact that they're in a war, that the people will not come to this conclusion nor act on and in their best interest. And I hope they do. Please, Ukrainians, replace this godless man as your leader. But anyway, guys, please share, like, subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comment section about the video today, the footage of Zelensky going back with JD Vance and Trump. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. Do you think that the president of Ukraine had a right to say what he said? Do you think that President Trump and JD Vance dealt with it appropriately? Or what would you have done in that scenario? Would you have just called the military in and just arrest him? I don't know. Just kidding. But please share your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, until next time.